What's good, everyone? It's your boy Nati with the first video of the channel, hopefully the first of many. And on the channel, we'll be discussing sports throughout the DC, Maryland, and Virginia region, whether it be high school sports, college sports, obviously professional sports. And before getting into the actual, as you guys read the title, the Redskins draft review, I want to first give a big shout out, big thank you to all the emergency personnel who are putting their lives on the line for us, our safety, and to protect the most vulnerable. And now, on to the Redskins review. So with the second pick of the first round, we got the best player in the draft. We got Chase Young. Chase Young, 6'5", 254. Really good defensive end from Ohio State, obviously. There isn't much I can say that you guys don't already know, but DMV born and raised in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Went to DeMatha High. Was actually on the same basketball team as the number one pick in the NBA draft, Markelle Fultz. Really good defensive end, really good build. Could really play all over the defensive line, but in our system, probably will play as a DN in the 4-3. And dude, Chase Young, Montez Sweat on the other edge. And then you got Matt Ioannidis, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Ryan Kerrigan. That defensive line is stacked. And in my years of being a Redskins fan, I think this upcoming year, our defense could be the best in the last 15 years. And Chase Young alone could be one of the best defensive players this organization has had since Sean Taylor. He's a game changer. And I'm really looking forward to big things out of him. And hopefully, he lives up to his potential. He becomes a perennial All-Pro. I have no doubt he will, but man, I'm looking forward to seeing how his career plays out. And on our defense, man, I'll be talking about this more in my next video towards the end of the week, where I'll be discussing the Redskins as a whole and their season outlook. But that defense could be really good. And he will obviously be a big part of it. And then we didn't have a second round pick because we traded that, for Montez Sweat last year. But in the third round, we got my boy Antonio Gibson from Memphis, who really could do it all, man. He's a wide receiver, running back. He calls himself a weapon. I remember hearing that in an interview with the Larry Michael. This guy's legit. And I'll be honest, on this channel I can't be anything but honest. But I'll admit, after the pick, I was a little skeptical and worried. I don't know. I thought we could have got Adam Troutman, that would have covered the tight end need, the big tight end need that we had. Or even the offensive tackle, Josh Jones out of the University of Houston. I thought we could have got either one of those players, but we ended up getting Antonio Gibson. And I think I was more so mad or more so skeptical about the pick just because I didn't really hear much about Antonio Gibson coming into the draft. But after watching some highlights, bro, this guy, he's legit. He's pretty much like Steven Sims, but a dangerous threat out of the backfield as well. Can really do it all. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that backfield shapes up. Right now it's pretty crowded with Darius Guice, Adrian Peterson, Bryce Love if he comes back. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that shapes up. Yeah, I think it will be a good pick. And then, so after Friday night, the big news came down today, Saturday. Trent Williams, the All-Pro left tackle, 7-time Pro Bowler, finally got traded to the 49ers for the 5th pick this year and then for the 3rd pick next year. And, dude, he was probably the best Redskins player in all my years of watching this team. And, it had to be done, man. That agent, I don't know what he was doing. Vincent Taylor, I don't know what you were doing. But he eventually got traded. Ron Rivera traded him. And in the 4th round, we got Sadiq Charles, the offensive tackle from LSU, the national champion LSU Tigers. And this guy's legit. Like, he has high end potential. He had character concerns in college. He missed 6 games. He was suspended 6 games for a violation that was never disclosed for some reason. But he has really high end potential. He's one of Ed Orgeron, the LSU coach, basically raved about him when he was asked about him, despite the character concerns. So I do have faith that, this is crazy for me to say because the Redskins in the past have gotten guys with character concerns that they haven't really had leadership in the locker room to kind of like mold those players into really good NFL players. But now, with a lot of the veterans that we have, with a lot of the leaders that we have, Landon Collins, Jonathan Allen being 2 of them, like, I think Sadiq Charles could be really good. And obviously we have Brandon Sheriff as well. Like, can be pretty good in this offense. He won't be Trent Williams. Like, who can be the silverback? Like, there's only one silverback. But I think he has a lot of potential. Maybe even start right away. Maybe. But yeah, definitely a great draft pick. And then the second pick that we had in the 4th round, pick 36, we got, outside of Chase Young, I would probably say my favorite pick in the draft. We got the receiver from Liberty University, Liberty being, in Lynchburg, Virginia, DMV, Antonio Gandy Golden. We'll just call him AGG on this channel. But, dude, he's 6'4", 220. He sort of has that DK Metcalf type body, but like obviously he's not that fast. I think he ran like a 4.6 in the 40-yard dash at the combine. But dude, he looks solid. He drew a lot of comparisons to DK Metcalf, but again, like isn't that speedy. Can't really separate much, but he definitely will be a vertical threat in this offense, and definitely will be a weapon for Dwayne Haskins in this offense. He's a pretty solid pickup. And also the head coach at Liberty University, my apologies, who is Hugh Freeze. He was the former coach at Ole Miss, and he actually coached DK Metcalf and AJ Brown. And he even said, when he was asked about it in the media, he said, you can put AGG in the same conversation or same tier, I guess, as AJ Brown and DK Metcalf. And that's saying a lot. Like, those 2 players last year were studs. Like, AJ Brown had 1,000+ yards. DK Metcalf was he was inconsistent at times, but in the playoffs he showed up when it mattered most. Like, if we could get that sort of production, I'm not expecting that, but if we could get like maybe 850 yards, 6 touchdowns, even that's kind of high, I expect him to come into the Redskins offense and be the wide receiver 2 that we really, really need. Got Scary freaking Terry as our wide receiver 1, and I have faith that he will continue to do well in the NFL, especially this year. The new offense with Scott Turner. But if AGG could come in and be our wide receiver 2, that would be really good, with Steven Sims, obviously, and Antonio Gibson, like I just said, who we drafted in the 3rd round. And then in the 5th round, we drafted Keith Ismail, center from San Diego State. So I didn't know much about him. I mean, it's a 5th round pick. He does have a solid frame, 6'3", 310 pounds, like pretty solid, pretty stout on the offensive line. I remember I was watching the ESPN coverage, and I saw that he actually, in the 38 games that he played, he started in all 38 games. So, he was consistently on the line. He's a consistent presence on the line. I'm not expecting too much from him. I hope he can be a backup center because, we already have a pretty good center in Chase Roulier. Or even maybe transition to guard. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's pretty solid pickup. Can't complain too much. And the 5th round, with the 2nd pick that we had, 16th pick overall in the round, we got Kalechi Hudson, linebacker safety from the University of Michigan. And Kalechi Hudson, I watched a lot of highlights for him. Like, he basically took over the Viper role in the Michigan defense. And the Viper role is essentially the linebacker safety hybrid, but also like being able to rush the passer, being able to play the edge position. And he did that really well last year. He's 5'11", 224, so a little undersized. But even Coach Harbaugh at Michigan, like he spoke highly of him. He said he was a really good player. I'm looking forward to him to kind of serve that Josh Harvey Clemens role that we've had the last couple of years, maybe even a little better. And Josh Harvey Clemens, I'll talk again about this during the Friday video or the video towards the end of the week. He might be cut from the team because of the linebackers that we have. Like, it's pretty much become a logjam at this point. And then we didn't have any 6th-round picks, unfortunately. But we did have 2 7th-round picks. With the first pick in the 7th round that we had, we selected Cameron Curl, safety from Arkansas. And at this point, I thought to myself, like, come on, we need a tight end. Like, at this point, like our tight ends, what do we have? Logan Thomas and Jeremy Sprinkle, like Richard Rodgers. Like, come on, what are we doing? We need a starting tight end. Didn't get one at that point, and it's hard to get one, obviously, in the 7th round. But we got Cameron Curl, who 6'2", 198, solid frame, possibly could be a backup free safety, more likely will be a special teams player. But he's definitely a versatile DB from what I've seen on Bleacher Report and other sports outlets. And then I also saw a couple video clips of him like coming into the draft, and he said he was a big fan of Landon Collins. And I don't think he'll be the starting free safety. Again, 7th round pick. We have Sean Davis, another DMV guy, but I think he could do pretty well in special teams. Not sure if he'll make the team though, because of all the players that we have on that defense right now. But pretty good pickup. At that point in the 7th round, you're looking for those potential players, not those players that you assume will start right away. So can't really complain too much. I saw that he got suspended though in college. Forgot how many games, but he got suspended for flirting with cheerleaders at the college. Interesting. But yeah, I did see that. But again, depth piece, if that. And then with the 2nd pick in the 7th round, we got James Smith-Williams, defensive end from North Carolina State. I also thought, like, we don't need any more defensive ends. We don't need any more edge players. Like, I think we're pretty solid at that position by now with Chase Young and Montez Sweat, Ryan Anderson, Ryan Kerrigan. But we ended up getting this guy, James Smith-Williams, 6'3", 265, another guy with a solid build. He did just suffer an ankle injury in college, so that's kind of worrisome, especially because, in the past, Redskins have picked injury-prone players, and they've, tended to stay injury-prone throughout their NFL careers. But, pretty good. I mean, 7th round, like, what do you expect, right? Like, you don't expect world beaters at that point. And he also, in looking at it, a couple, like, sports outlets and, like, their news and stuff, I saw that he was a pass rusher in college, but he wasn't really treated as such. He was more so, run stuffer in the 3-4 scheme, and that didn't really, suit his potential, honestly. And he talked a lot about that coming into the draft. And he said right after the Redskins picked him, actually, I think it was on social media, he said that, in the 3-4 scheme, like, his potential would be unleashed. I think those were his words. So, I mean, 7th round pick, maybe he could surprise some folks and become a solid backup. I don't know. But again, not expecting too much. After, once you get into the 6th, 7th round, not expecting too much from the draft picks, honestly. And then right as I was about to record this video, my first official video on the channel, I got a notification saying that we signed Thaddeus Moss, the tight end from LSU, national championship LSU Tigers, who's the son of Randy Moss. I don't know if you guys knew him. Like, it's pretty solid wide receiver. And we got him. And coming into the draft, he was one of the tight ends that I really wanted to get. And we didn't even have to draft him. We signed him as an undrafted free agent. And, I mean, being an undrafted free agent, you obviously have your flaws. He's not very fast, not very athletic. Does have a solid frame, but not very athletic. So, not expecting too much from him again. But, like, it's Thaddeus Moss, and, like, he still can be in our tight end group right now. just not very solid. Again, Richard Rodgers, Logan Thomas, Jeremy Sprinkle, like, why not? Why not make it a competition and become our starting tight end opening day, or maybe not opening day, but like at some point during the season. He has that potential, and he came up big in some pretty big moments during LSU's title run, so it's possible. Yeah, we didn't draft any other tight ends. Didn't draft a corner. Oh my gosh, Bryce Hall was a possible selection a couple times during the draft, but we didn't end up getting him. Kind of understand that. Big injury concerns. Huge ankle injury, leg injury. We didn't get Amik Robertson, who a lot of people mock drafted to us. We didn't get Lamar Jackson, not the quarterback from the Ravens, but the cornerback from Nebraska. We didn't get him, unfortunately. But I think overall, this draft, we picked up a pretty solid haul. I mean, you can't go wrong when your first pick is freaking Chase freaking Young, right? Like, and we got a couple of playmakers, 3rd round, 4th round, AGG, Antonio Gibson, and Thaddeus Moss as an undrafted free agent. So, yeah, I think that's the end of the first video. Hope you guys like it. And if you can, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I do look forward to making more videos for you guys, and this has been fun, and hopefully we'll have more fun in the future. And definitely be on the lookout for my video towards the end of next week, where I'll be discussing the Redskins as a whole, where they need to improve, where they're very solid at, and obviously the defensive line, right? But like, just pretty much an off-season review at this point, and even maybe a season outlook. And see you guys next week. Thanks.